get my 6. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Homesteading Off the Grid. I have many things to talk to you about today. Well, 4 specifically. No real story planned. We have a viewer in Huntington, West by God, Virginia, whose father passed away a couple days ago. Our viewer's name is Danny Burks. He's been a long-time viewer and subscriber of this channel. He's always been supportive. He commented on a video here within the last day or two about the passing of his father. And so, Danny, we just want to let you know that our family, and I would imagine the majority of our viewers, are with you right now in our minds, in our hearts, and our prayers are going out to you. So, guys, if you could offer Danny and his family and all the survivors some prayers, some thoughts, some well wishes, I'm sure that would be appreciated. So that's the first order of business. I want to say thank you to somebody from England, but before I do that, I want to wish my father a happy birthday. Today is my father's birthday. He knows who he is. Ironically, he's back in West by God, Virginia, where Mr. Burks and his family live. So happy birthday, Dad. We were out of touch for a while, but that's changed to a degree recently. Happy birthday. Now, and yes, I know you saw that because I know you guys have been watching my videos for years before we reconnected. Boom. All right. Now, I've got a big thank you to give out. Oh, don't worry. It wasn't just them. It was like some of these childhood best friends I've been reconnecting with lately. Same thing. They're like, dude, I've been watching you for like 3 years, wondering when you're going to call me. All right. So anyway, we made a video on my beautiful bride Dearly's channel earlier today. We were giving an update on her channel about the bees. And I didn't give credit where credit was due. I talked about these bee specialists who came out when we potentially had an asphyxiation, is what I'm calling it. It's not necessarily a poisoning, because what was applied to the field was done legally. It was just done at the wrong time of the year in the middle of a drought, and it requires water to be activated. So it's almost as if things were purposely poured on top of flowers during the peak of pollination. So whatever. It resulted in a lot of dead bees, and it resulted in almost an entire colony being lost. But we have a viewer in England who commented on the videos when this disaster struck. She used to keep bees, and she is the one who actually pointed out about the sugar water, and I started doing it the next day. If I had not done that, our entire colony would be lost. Our queen is alive. She has been producing new brood. That new brood is hatched. The asphyxiationing happened about 3 weeks ago. Every bee that was alive at that time would be dead within 2 weeks, just because that's all the longer they live. We still got maybe a couple thousand bees. So they are reproducing. We are feeding. We now have actual bona fide bee food for our bees. We're still giving them sugar water. And I just want to say thank you to Margaret Elizabeth Johnson, who lives in Sheffield. She sent us a nice note, and she also sent us a package with some very, and this is really neat, because, like, you know, it was an old former Army guy, just some stuff. I have a lot of government stuff from the U.S. government, okay? This is actual information about bees from the Food and Environment Research Agency from the United Kingdom. So I'm figuring they're probably a lot like our Department of Agriculture. So she sent me some stuff, managing varroa, all kinds of stuff that's easy to read, very informational. So, Margaret, we will be reading this. Thank you for that comment you left, which basically gave us the information we needed to save our colony. So we still have bees because of you, Margaret, and our bees are going to be healthier because we're going to be more knowledgeable. Oops, don't want to show her address. More knowledgeable going forward because of what you sent us here. So a big thank you. Now, this next thing is it's kind of big. A lot of you are going to be excited. I've had dozens, if not 100 or more people make this request. But I had someone actually send me a letter some time ago kind of threw me over the edge. I read it off and on. I finally did it. I said we had a big surprise coming. This is a big surprise. Let me read you this letter. All right. This is from Sharanda D. in Dallas, Texas. Okay. Okay, we received this March 3rd. March, April, May, June, July. It's just like 5 months ago. It's been a while. Okay. Dear Kevin, aka Crazy Lake, I've been watching your videos since the annoying neighbor with the crayon video. I don't think I've missed any of them. I love the way you tell your stories. I love the relationship you have with your wife and son. And I love all of the improvements you've made on your property. I feel like I've been there with you guys as you've turned your little piece of paradise into something quite amazing. With all the orchards and garden spaces and what you refer to as your man-made forest and your beautiful evergreen privacy hedges. I love it when you show your trees in your videos. It is almost to the point of unbelievability now that your property only a few short years ago was merely a boring old hayfield. It's starting to remind me of Charles Dickens' Secret Garden. I love that book. I love Charles Dickens. Since I've mentioned Dickens and his wonderful work, only one of many, he's one of my favorites. Wow, we have a lot in common there. I'll get right to the point on my letter. A special request you might consider. I've read a few of your books, though I will admit not all. I bought The Box and From the Graves of Babes and Isle of Capri just before the pandemic hit. And then, unfortunately, I began falling a bit behind on my ability to treat myself to little financial splurges, as I'm sure did many people around the world. I consider myself fortunate because I still have my home and I still have a job, but my hours were cut, especially in the beginning when the company I work for actually closed their doors for 30 days. And my husband works, so we fared much better than many. I was looking forward to reading your short story collection, October Nights, last fall, because Halloween is my favorite holiday, but our financial woes had just kicked in. When you actually took the time to read the stories from the book on your YouTube channel, my heart swelled with excitement. I remember every day of last October waiting very impatiently for you to come onto YouTube and read us your super creepy, super well-written Halloweenish tale of the day. Yeah, I might be blocking something over here. Let me go right here and finish this letter, huh? Get my 6. I never got started on your Bigfoot Sasquatch Files series, though I'd always planned to do so when our financial situation began improving again. And when that time comes, I am going to get an autographed print copy of October Nights from your Etsy store because I want to read the half dozen or so stories from the book that you didn't feel comfortable reading on YouTube. I was talking about these very things with my husband, who, by the way, watches your videos sometimes, I think in an effort to figure out why I like them so much. And so far, he can't even figure out what your channel is about, but I think he's in good company with that. Yeah, nobody's figured that part out yet, what this channel is actually about. And my husband said, he's written so many, he should bundle them up into an anthology and offer them all at a price that most people could afford without effort. Kevin, I would never ask you to discount the price of your creations because I know you pour your time, effort, energy, and passion into creating them. But I think my husband might have an idea that could benefit you as well as others. I know by the way you read your book, October Nights, free of charge, on YouTube, that you are not a profit-driven person. That's true. Money has never been my God, nor will it ever be. But I also know you deserve to be paid for the excellent work you do and the excellent literature you create. Agreed. I will never work for free again. Made a lot of people rich before the blog bubble busted, and some of them never even paid me. Story about that, ironically, in October Nights, and I mentioned names there. Won't do it here. Not going to give them any sort of, attention on my YouTube channel, but it's in the book. All I'm asking is that perhaps you keep my husband's idea in the back of your mind. Oh, and please don't ban me because of my request. What? Either way, Whether you do this or not, I will, when my situation improves and finances allow, get around to reading all of your Bigfoot Sasquatch Files volumes. But I would like to do so sooner, which I could do if you would honor this request. And again, please don't ban me for making this request. What? Sincerely, one of your biggest fans, Sharanda D, Dallas, Texas. You know, I got that letter, and I've had other people making these requests, and I thought, well, I viewed it as if those who went out and purchased Bigfoot Sasquatch Files volumes 1 through 10 individually, as if like they might be kind of on the outs if I were to do something like this to fulfill this request. But I did want everybody to get a chance to hear those stories. So I read some of them here on the channel. Some of them are appropriate. A lot of them aren't. Listen, this channel is very much PG rated. Okay, I understand that somebody who's not really old enough or mature enough to hear about adult situations, adult concerns, it can get on YouTube and pretty much watch anything they want. So we do intentionally go out of our way, not to cuss, and not that we do anyway, not to talk about adult themes and all these things, not that we do much of that anyway, you know, talking about it. But in my writing, I'm real. And one of Stephen King's best, he's my favorite author, some advice he gives in his book on writing, where he pretty much talks about everything he understands about the craft of writing. He says, your writing must be believable. You think, well, what's that mean? Especially if some of the stories are obviously fiction. How can you, well, what he means is the characters. There are people in the real world who curse. There are people in the real world who talk about, you know, adult situations. That's life. That's life. And so if I didn't put that stuff in the work I create, my work wouldn't be real. And my work is very real, and I get a lot of feedback from a lot of people that read it. Shared a video the other day about, you know, a contact I received in regard to the book The Lunatic, which we still have on back order. These things sell out in 24 hours when they get here. This time we ordered more than we ever have. But I've got a surprise for you. I said I had a surprise coming. One of the things that I have here in the back of my box is a box cutter. Let me show you. Guys, this is huge. Literally, this is huge and this is heavy. Sharanda in Dallas, Texas. Et al., probably at least 100 others who have made this request. Done. Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Anthology 1, Volumes 1 through 10. Look at this. 800 pages. 3 pounds. Between 60 and 100, 2,000 to 5,000 long stories. This is the single biggest collection of short work written on the topic of Bigfoot Sasquatch ever in the history of mankind. Potentially. 800 pages. Look at that. This is like, it's like I kept up with Ayn Rand here in Atlas Shrugged. Okay, and check, you can go to Amazon and get this, $24.99 in print. I forget the price of the Kindle. Maybe it's $9.99 for you Kindle readers. It says 798 pages. Well, what about the cover? Don't judge it because of it. And what about the back cover? You know, look at that. Get my text. You put those 2 pages on there, the front and the back cover, 800 pages. These are now, as of the time, most of you probably already paused and went to Etsy and bought it and came back. If you want one, that's pretty much what you got to do. I've got like 50 of them in this batch. there's no way any will remain 24 hours from now. They're $24.99. You will get an autograph, personally autographed. We'll send it out to you. But I've had so many people requesting this, and it's strange. I've been hung up on Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 11, but which I worked on more today. It is coming, but I did feel like there was some unfinished business that was keeping me from moving forward, and I think it's this. You know, and put in the way that Sharanda put it here, talking about COVID, people getting down because of the situation, it only made sense. And what I like about it also is from time to time, I'm just going to go through here and pick out some of the stories I haven't read yet that are appropriate for here, and I'll do that. So, oh, I love this one. I definitely could not read this one on YouTube. I think it's from Volume 6, but it's the second story, Bigfoot Sasquatch Saves the World. I can't read that on YouTube. Now, and again, I want to make sure I'm okay. Yeah, that's from Volume 6. I'm giving you a heads up, folks. If you don't like foul language, if you don't like some adult situations, if you don't like some gross stuff, this is not the book for you. And it's perfectly fine. I know there's a lot of folks out there who don't like to read that. But this book, despite that stuff, and really because of that stuff, these stories are well written, they're real, they're passionate. Some of them, a few of them are stories from you guys, but most of them are stories from this guy. So there you have it. Again, want to send well wishes to Danny Burks and his family. Again, lift Danny and his family up in prayers. Once again, happy birthday to my father. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Better go to Etsy. They go quick. See you for more next time. From Homesteading Off the Grid and whatever in the hell this channel's about.